finally, I want to talk about the bonkers and bizarre Stormy Daniels hush money case. Wild scenes yesterday with Trump's lawyer calling out former Trump lawyer and personal fixer Michael Cohen as a liar. This was quite an extraordinary day of testimony. Tell us, how did this all go down?
Well, look, the theatrics of it is a big part of this because this is a high-profile case. And you have to remember, as much as this is being run on cable news networks in America, we've got CNN posting every update and graphics and special coverage that's been going for weeks now. The only people that really matter in this are those who are in the jury box. And there's only, by what we know from the jury assessment that they do in the United States that's been released, possibly one juror who'd be open to switching to Donald Trump's side. This is a very Democrat area. It's a very blue justice system by political appointees, which is also normal in the United States, but it's a fact here nonetheless. And so the question is, what difference is this going to make in the rest of the country? Sure, Donald Trump's probably going to face some fines. If he's found guilty, he'll have a criminal conviction against his name. Maybe he won't be able to vote for himself if he's recorded as a felon, but he's not really up for any potential jail time. So what we're talking about here is reputation. And so far, he's doing well in the polls. He's doing better in swing states by this New York Times Siena poll than Joe Biden is, because his supporters are being emboldened by this, and everyone else in the middle is kind of tuned out of it. So it's certainly not having the negative impact that many would have anticipated.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you talk about the jury of 12, but then there's also the jury of 200 million or so voters in the United States. Is this case backfiring on Democrats who thought, everybody would be as outraged about this as they are? In the same way, I guess you could say that Republican attacks on Bill Clinton in the 90s for various things involving personal peccadillos also backfired on them.
Yeah, and massively. And we don't know how this is going to land by the time Election Day comes around, because most people aren't as tuned into the US presidential election as you or I or our viewers. But at the same time, this is going to be likely the only case that runs before this next election. None of the other cases against Donald Trump are doing well. In particular, the Florida case is really stalled, the classified documents one. And so the fact that this is the only one, it's going to be very easy for him to paint this as political persecution by people who were out to get him. And so all it's doing is emboldening his followers. I tell you, I was at that Trump rally last week in New Jersey, and that was a huge turnout. I don't have any issue saying it was around 100,000. It was a massive crowd.
Wow.
And he asked the crowd who he is from Pennsylvania, and a lot of hands went up. And that's an important state. That's a must-win. So it's on for sure.
Absolutely. Annelise, Nielsen, thank you so much for your time.